Who's new here, and of course for those of you who are back again, great to have you here. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of Render, TAO, KAS, and ONDO. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade with cheap taker fees, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc, which has a similar trading volume to Bitget and Bybit, but as you can see, I already highlighted you it here. The taker fees are far much lower than on the other top crypto exchanges, and on top of that you can get an additional 20% discount on those low taker fees if you use my referral link, which you can find in the video description. 100 pairs, 0 fees just on mexc, and here you have a huge list of altcoins which you can trade without any fees on mexc. So let's get to Render. I have added a new bearish chart pattern to Render. First of all, the target is still ongoing from that rectangle. Target is the $3.24. We also have in bright blue a bear flag on the chart, which broke to the downside, which got its retest. We are missing currently the follow through. Target $3.14. Now I have put you a bearish pennant on the chart, this one here. This was the sell-off, and here we have this kind of consolidation within a triangle. We also broke it to the downside. We got our retest. Target $3.04. So what we can see is that we have three chart patterns which direct us into the fair value gap, which is between $3.25 to $3. I will also put you here a price mark. So I'm currently in the short position. I took it a bit earlier, right here, but I didn't put much money into it. I just put the half money into it, which I was ready to open for Render once we break the $3.78.5 to the downside. So this is actually my short trigger where the red trend line is, because this is support. We have seen it here. Here it was support. Here it was resistance. Here it was support again, and we also have here support again. So basically I want to take the short trade lower than the red trend line when we get the retest. I took it above here, half of that position size, and the other half I'm going to put into the Render trade once we break to the downside. And then we have to see if we form other bearish chart patterns where I can increase my position size, because if we just take the target from the $3.78 down to the $3.25, then you can already see that this is a huge possible profitable trade. 15% to the downside. If we go for the maximum target, let's say 21%. If we break to the downside and we get 20% to the downside, then we can find other bearish chart patterns in the future. And then we can, I don't want to say gamble a bit, but we can gamble with our profits. So that's why I took the trade here, above here. So I have more space to the downside. And I can always set my stop loss to break even once we break to the downside and once I increase my position size. So I can play a bit with my profits. And if we get, for example, to minus 20%, it's nice. Let's assume I go in with $100, for example, position size. Then it would be $20 in profit. But if I increase my position size, if I double up, then I can make the $20, which would be the potential profit, can easily get into $40, $60 profits. So that's very huge if we play it with bigger numbers. So that's my game plan for Render. $3.78 have to break to the downside. Then I would be bearish and would increase my position size for my short trade. If we break the $4 to the upside before we break even to the downside, then this can also be an inverted head and shoulders formatation. We didn't invalidate this pattern yet. So if we break the $4 to the upside, then the target is going to be $4.22. up to $4.31, but I think this is not realistic at the moment. And once we break the $3.78 to the downside, and it looks like that we have selling pressure, then this inverted head and shoulders formatation is going to get invalidated for render. So let's jump into TAO, because I'm already in a TAO short trade. And I will show you why. We have said already that this white trend line, if it breaks to the downside, then this would be an indication that we should drop to 395 US dollar. At the 395 US dollar, I'm expecting a bounce, which can get us even up to $415 again. And then we would have a head and shoulders formatation. So this can just happen a bit later. So let me put this one right here. So left shoulder, possible head, and afterwards the right shoulder. We don't have to get the right shoulder. I also see a rectangle at the moment. So basically here we broke to the downside. Let me talk about first why I went into a short trade. You can see it in this market stage here. We used the 415 US dollar, the orange trend line, as resistance. And as you can see, this was at 9 p.m. my time. Here we retested it again, 10 a.m. So it's basically 13 hours. We didn't manage to break the $415 to the upside since 13 hours. So if we don't break it to the upside since 13 hours, then I can expect that we have difficulties breaking it to the upside. And why did I take the trade here? Because I thought this was the best risk to reward ratio. We already got here a low, a lower low, slightly lower low, and another lower low. So we have selling pressure. If we get the opposite, where we get higher lows, for example, like here's a higher low, here's a higher low, then we can expect that the price moves to the upside and also breaks the 415 US dollar to the upside, because we have buying pressure, but we have the opposite at the moment, selling pressure. So now we have a rectangle, in my opinion, and this rectangle is going to show me where TAO is going to drop or where it's going to get its price up if we break to the upside. In the end of the day, we have two key levels here, 404 US dollar. If they break to the downside, then the target is going to be 392 US dollar for that rectangle, but for sure 396 US dollars is going to be support. So I think 396 US dollar is going to be the target of that rectangle. If we also lose that support, then as you can see, we already have here a huge fair value gap. And this fair value gap can get closed even down to 369 US dollar, where we have the next support. So basically, if we lose the support at 404 US dollar, I'm already in a short trade, like I said, I took it here. If we lose it, and we get some kind of breakout within retest, similar to here, yeah, we don't have to be 13 hours at the resistance, but at least I want to see that the resistance is going to be resistance. If I see that, if I get the confirmation, then I can confidently increase my position size for another push to the downside. And I don't think that the 396 US dollar are going to hold. The only question is, are we going to get a bounce there, or are we going to break it straight to the downside? If we get a bounce there, then for sure my profits can be lost, because here's my trade. Here I would double up my position size. My average price would be somewhere here. If we then push to the downside and get a bounce, then I would be out of the trade, maybe even into losses if I don't set my stop loss to break even. So that's why I want to take profits, depending for sure on how we get to the downside. But if we get slowly to the downside, then I would even take profits at 396 US dollar. And if we break it to the downside, then I can increase my position size again. But at least I de-risk a bit of my position. So if we break the 415 US dollar to the upside, then the rectangle is showing me 427 US dollars going to be the target. But to say that we are a bit bullish and then we can expect a push to the upside, we have to wait for the 437.5 US dollar. Then I think we have a good chance, depending for sure on what kind of bullish chart patterns we are going to get, but then we have the chance getting even, let's round it up to $500. So let's see what TAO is going to do. It's going to be very interesting in my opinion, and I think the chances are very high that we break to the downside. So, KAS profitable trade. We had the chance to get into the trade quite often. We have said here, rising wedge broke to the downside, but we also had here a falling wedge or an ascending triangle. So I meant yesterday, it doesn't matter where we break it to the downside. If we break it to the downside, 8.2 cents, then we can see the 7.9 cents in one go. If we break to the upside, then we had here's a circle, a huge fair value gap, and we should fill it. We broke to the upside, we got one retest, a second retest, a third retest. So we had 3 times the chance getting into a long trade. And I've also told you that this is going to get fast. So if we just take the first breakout to the top, it was 7 hours, 6 or 7 hours. So basically this was a perfect day trade. So let me take out the price marks. Here was the first push to the upside. Here was the retest. First target, 8.7 cents. We hit the target. Second target was here, the top of that falling wedge, 8.9 cents. Got hit. And we could have even gone up to 9 cents. This didn't, look, we went into 9 cents, but I mean 9.07. This didn't happen. But we went very high. We had so many take profits option. So let me take out, we also have said we might have an head and shoulders formatation. This got invalidated with this push to the upside. I can also take out this falling wedge, and this rising wedge also got invalidated with this push to the upside. So what do I see now? I think that we might have the chance getting an head and shoulders formatation, which is a bearish chart pattern. Left shoulder, head, and here maybe the right shoulder. So what I usually do is I take the spread of the left shoulder, and since we didn't develop the right shoulder yet, it can also be here, the right shoulder, but I took it also here. And we have space up to 8.7 cents, and this would be still the right shoulder. And in my opinion, we can even get a bit higher. But once we break the 8.75 cents to the upside, I will put you here the price mark. Then I think that the head and shoulders formatation got invalidated, and we can get a nice push to the upside, maybe even up to 9.4 cents. I have here the price mark. So if we break the 9.45 cents to the upside, then I think we have a bullish momentum for KAS, where we can expect far higher prices for it. So if we break the 8.4 cents to the downside, then I think the target is going to be the 7.9 cents to 8 cents. And if we get there, then this can also just be a double bottom pattern, which is also bullish, which can break to the upside if we get over the top here. And then we get a nice target for KAS and a possible trade. But let's see. Let's first see if we break the 8.4 cents to the downside, fall into the 8 cents, and then get there a push to the upside. If we lose the 8 cents, then the next support is going to be the 7.6 cents. I will also put you here a price mark. So what about ONDO? The rising wedge in orange didn't got invalidated yet. Target is still ongoing. 79.8 cents. What we also formed, in my opinion, is another, I don't want to call it a rising wedge, but it could also be a beer flag in bright blue. So if we lose it, I just took the spread here. I just say that's a falling wedge, a rising wedge. If I would say this is a beer flag, then we are going to take this whole down move and put it then to the breakout point. I think that's far too bearish. If the 82 cents breaks to the downside, then we have another target directing us into the fair value gap. And the fair value gap gets from 78.3 cents to 74.75 cents. And I think this is going to get filled. I doubt that we are going to push to the upside, get even to 89.3 cents. I doubt it. I think that we first get another push to the downside, and from here, maybe the push to the upside. So, we have also said that we might have an inverted head and shoulders formatation. This one here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. It broke to the upside, it got a small push. We didn't even work off one shoulder. So we take the length here, put it to the breakout point. We didn't hit the target. Since we can call this a retest, we can put it here. So we can still expect a push up to 85.8 cents. As long as we don't break the 82 cents to the downside. So, with that, I'm done with today's video. And I thank you for watching, and I hope that I gave you some valuable information, and we see each other tomorrow with hopefully a lot of gains. See you.